to put it to the mic.
I'm sorry.
So we got Joe Budden. We got Doja Cat, aka no, Caliucious.
Oh my god.
Good Joe Budden. Who am I?
Oh my god.
I'm, you know what I'm saying, Young Stilo, the smoothest nigga alive,
Why he know?
aka the new Denzel. You know what I'm saying? People like to say I'm Sean Wayans too, but we'll go with just Stilo today. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
Good. Should we have the girl in the middle? Yeah, let's
You're
do
about
that.
to say y'all real big, but you know, good of me side. Right there. All right, where are we starting at?
So let's start from the beginning.
Let's start with all that shit you was talking.
I'm fucking dead.
Adjustments.
Play adjustments.
So how did this even start? You want me to start it?
Hey, I'm about to say I'm not opposed to anything. I'm really just chilling, going with the flow.
I posted this jank on my story, right? Matter of fact, I'll play it for everybody that's listening. Nah, man. Hold on. Here we go.
So you still want to go on this subject, though.
What does crazy bitch say?
Not crazy, stupid.
By the way, she does not speak for other people.
Every woman should cheat on their boyfriend or their partner before they get married. You cheat on him because you need to know, sis. You need to know if this man really loves you. If you cheat on him and he doesn't leave you and he stays with you, he still want to be with you, he still want to build with you, he still want you to have his kids, he still want to pay your rent, you got yourself a winner. Because you need to know if this man is loyal. Is he going to stand behind you for better or for worse? You need to know these things. When things get hard, is he gonna be there? You need to know if this man can forgive and forget.
Shit, I didn't even get this far.
Most women cheat before they get married anyways, let's be honest. And most men be lying anyway. You need to know if y'all can hold each other down when things get hard. And on cheating, don't ever stop a man from loving me. For real, for real. You're not gonna stop loving me because I cheated. And I'm not gonna stop loving you because you cheated. We're gonna figure this shit out together. On God.
Oh god! Look at the end. Look at the end picture.
Flappy Bird face ass bitch.
Oh my god!
So look, I put that video on my story, right?
I believe.
And I was like, I'm curious, ladies, what do y'all think? Is this a real test, or is this a one-way trip to see God Himself? Please do tell. And she responded, right? She said, no, I don't know what she is talking about. Loyalty is everything.
It's so proper, I cannot.
Loyalty is everything. And I was like, and I responded to it, right? I was like, loyalty is everything, huh? You think loyalty is everything? Let me see what exactly she said. Damn, I didn't know we was goddamn messaging that much.
We did though.
So I was like, you think loyalty is everything? And she was like, it's trust first, loyalty and love. But trust has got to be first. I can't fucking read right now. Without that, the others are faulty. And I was like, I feel that. I think honesty comes before trust, because if you're honest about your fuck ups, then I'm able to forgive you if you mess up. So,
and I said,
and Sir Nigel himself said,
Sir Nigel himself, all one word, SNH capital was handing ladies. So basically, I said I agree more so with Stilo, because if you
do not call me Stilo.
Okay, nigga. Stephen Logan.
Sounds so weird.
I agreed with Mr. Stephen Logan, himself, that you have to, honesty is part of that, but do you respect your partner enough to be honest in the first place?
Yeah, for it to not even be a thing.
For you to be willing to take accountability for your fuck up.
But I think, personally, I think you have to be an honest person to even be respectful.
Fact.
You know what I mean? Like, honesty really shows where your morals are. You get what I'm saying? If you're an honest person, you're not gonna steal from nobody. If you're an honest person, you're not gonna cheat on anybody. Your morals are going to be intact because honesty just means that you stand for something. So what? Y'all don't know what just happened. Our door just opened by itself.
I thought I did.
Our door just opened by itself. So you know what I'm saying? We was about to get the demons out of here.
You know what I'm saying?
Send them to the upper room. So, but yeah, what do you think about the topic? What goes first?
See, we didn't finish the conversation though,
okay.
Because our conversation got real deep, and we got to agreeing with each other. But I mean, I don't say shit to agree with people. So,
nah, for sure.
That's just
let's go through talking shit then.
Okay, so as a woman and just person in general, I feel like everything that she said was complete bullshit. Nobody should sit there and tolerate your shit because you can't be fucking loyal. You can't be honest in what it is. You feel like you need to cheat. There's something there that within the relationship that's not working that needs to be communicated. Okay? Unless you're in a fucking polyamorous ass relationship, and even in poly relationships, shit is discussed.
Fact.
Amongst each other. So I'm actually learning, like, you know, what it means to be in a poly relationship. I'm not in one myself, but I know people who are, and I thought it was, you know, a lot of sleeping around and shit, almost like swingers. But like back to the original conversation, honestly, shit has to be discussed. Mm-hmm. If you're not discussing shit, you're not communicating with shit, people's needs are not being met. Mm-hmm. So for her to think that you gotta cheat on the person, like all this testing shit is unnecessary as fuck. Nigga. Okay? That's just bottom line. Why are you doing that? Why are you trying to test people? Why are you trying to trigger? There's something wrong with you inside if you feel like that's necessary in order for a relationship to go right. I'm not saying that you'll never like hurt your significant other. To think that things are always gonna be like fucking a fairy tale is very unrealistic. Very. You're going to hurt each other. It could be a small disagreement. It's like your actions are really where character starts to show. You start showing your true character based off the shit you do. Okay? So it's like if you respect yourself, you're gonna respect yourself enough to speak on what it is that you are needing. What's your needs? Like, I feel like people don't sit down enough to be like, hey, what do you need from this? Like, how can I, like, you know, help you in what you need in this situation? And if it doesn't fucking align with me, then all right, it's all love. I'm gonna step back. It's as simple as that. But I feel like things get more difficult. I think for no reason.
I think a lot of it is like a lot of people don't look in the mirror and look at the fact that we're not fucking perfect. Like I got problems, you got problems, he got problems, we all got problems. That's why I say if you're able to be honest and take accountability for your actions, then I'm able to forgive you for the mistakes that you made, because I know that none of us are perfect. But when we go through life and we think that nothing is wrong with us, that's where you get tests and shit like that from. You know what I mean? That's where you get this playing games and shit like that. Because if you were honest with yourself and worked on yourself and worked on those traumatic moments that would cause you to test like that and cause you to, you know, just have that mindset, then you wouldn't be testing like that. Now, you know what I mean?
Question. And I want to hear from your perspective, because you're a woman, and I feel like you've been in more rooms with women where you might have heard something like this.
Let me adjust this real quick.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm gonna let us hold it, because I want the audio to be good. I guess we can hold it like this, right? Fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. So what I was saying was I want to hear from Ash's perspective. I want to hear from Ash's perspective on maybe some of the conversations that she's overheard where there was like a subject that came up, and it was like there were women around that were talking about doing some form of a test for a guy, because I never understood why is it that women feel like they have to test men. Why do you feel like why do women feel like they have to test men and their loyalty and their effort in all of this. Where the fuck does that come from? Because guys don't be sitting around talking about like I'm gonna test this girl to see how much she really fuck with me.
Most, I will say most.
Like that, like that's not a thing. Like when we're talking about girls, we're either talking about going out trying to fuck girls, or like, oh, there's this new girl I'm talking to. Oh, this girl looked bad on Instagram. We've been DMing, da 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 da. But it's never like from any group of guys I've ever been around. Is like
specifically being within a relationship, because that's what that post was about when Shorty was talking. Yeah. It's okay. So for me. And again, when I'm talking about all this stuff, I'm only talking about like my perspective on stuff.
Or anything you heard.
But from what I've heard, and obviously, you know, same way guys talk and chat it up, like in barbershops and shit around each other, women also chat it up too. I find that, yeah, you're right. A lot of women do feel as though it's necessary to test a man's G before, you know, they just either decide to be in a relationship or they are in a relationship. Again, I said from my perspective, I feel like it's unnecessary as fuck. I'm not about to use my energy to test you. I'm going to just let you reveal shit on your own.
Oh, God.
Okay? I'm letting people go into shit with a clean slate. I'm not judging anything. I'm not going to have any assumptions. Now, that's where I am nowadays because I'm grown as fuck and I'm growing. Okay, and I'm aware of my shit, so, you know, it helps me be aware of other shit for that reason. But I'm not just sitting up testing people like, oh, let me see what he's gonna do when this happens. I'm not gonna inflict shit on purpose. But women do have the tendency to do so. And the reasons, I mean, really, it's fear. Fear is like the biggest thing in all situations that really starts to run amok. You let it run amok too much in your mind, then you start to doing shit like that. But it has to do a lot with the culture too. It has to do a lot with the culture. It has to do a lot with like societal norms, and you know, like it just gets too deep.
I don't think it's...
I'm talking about like social media, just how easy it is to do shit. I mean, if a motherfucker want to do something, they gonna do it. Okay? It don't matter, you know, what the situation is. Someone wants to do something. It's just like anything. If you want to get up and you want to fucking go get a fucking smoothie from the store, you're gonna get up and go get the fucking smoothie. Okay? Like, it's all about what that person wants and your will. You have free will to do whatever the fuck you want. So... when it comes to women in that, I feel like a lot of people, they just want to feel safe. But see, like, it still goes back to that thing.
But you want to know, like, when it comes to... when it comes to you want to feel like you're safe, or you want to feel like this person is willing to go through hell and back for you, this, that, the third, what women don't understand is a lot of times when they be pulling that fuck shit, they end up
pushing the person away.
Yes, pushing the person away, but it's because you're testing that man's manhood in a way. Because if you do your fuck shit, from what she was saying in the video, she said you better be
very much made up of ego. I mean,
no. Everybody has an ego, but it's different because women, men naturally have this alpha male somewhere inside of them, like where they want to be the dominant one, or they want to make sure that they know the direction of what they're going. Okay, if you're trying to take me off course, basically, she was basically saying, I'm willing to cheat on you to test you, right? But the way she was saying it was like, now if you're not willing to go through that and deal with my fuck shit, you're not a man. That's how it makes you less of a woman. That's how she said it, and there's too many women that I feel like think like that, and it's a bunch of bullshit because you're basically intentionally trying to emasculate a man. Let me see. Whether it's conscious or unconscious.
All right, so to move this along, right, and I got something to say that what he said. I think men don't really test; men just observe. You get what I'm saying? Like we don't sit back and be like, I'm gonna leave $1 on the ground and see if she pick it up. You know what I'm saying? We more so like we just watching the way she move. Like, okay, she move in a certain way. We also ask questions. Like, so like the certain questions that you give me, like or that I ask you, and the response is gonna tell me who you are. You get what I'm saying? So like I might be like, it was
Story time. Go ahead. We get that.
So this is a girl that I met at Ballyhoo's or whatever, right? And we were supposed to go out the next day. Boom. Or the next morning. So, I texted her and like, hey, is 11 good? Because we were supposed to meet up at 10. I was like, is it 11 good? I could come out to you. And she was like, good for what? I was like, we were supposed to go out for breakfast this morning. And she was like, oh, well, you can't hold the drunk me accountable. And from there, when she said, you can't hold the drunk me accountable, I put her in a different category. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, I might still fuck with you.
No, fuck you.
I might still fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But am I going to think about a relationship with you? No, because you just told me that you can't be held accountable while you're drunk. You should be held accountable for at all times.
And men have to be held accountable at all times. We don't get this, and this is going like sidetrack a little bit. Boomerang here we come back, but it's very new. It's very new that men are even able to say they have anxiety, and this is why I feel like I can't do this now. That's new. That's brand fucking new within like the last 3 years of like. Okay, 5. That's new within like the last 5 years of like this entire world. That's never been. No, men have never been able to say I can't go to work today because my anxiety is acting up. That's never happened ever. Like you just saying that you can't hold the drunk me accountable, fam. You were conscious when you made it. You were sober when you made a conscious decision to go drink. If you're playing with your recreational substances, alcohol, weed, whatever, you know what your limit is. Mm. You know what your limit is. So don't tell me I can't hold you accountable. Like it might be taking you out of your normal frame of mind or whatever. But you know when you get into the edge. So and if you know when you should stop drinking, there's times where you've been drunk and you're like, I should stop because I'm about to go a little too far. Mm-hmm. If you even being drunk, you know that.
How many drinks you can take?
Exactly. If you can think that while you're still inebriated, then you can take accountability. But what she said was, I'm not willing to take accountability for any of my bullshit. That's what she really said, whether she knows it or not. And like, there's a lot of times, like when it comes to men interacting with women, where we sit and observe. That's how we process it. You said I can't take the drunk you. I can't hold the drunk you accountable. No, you just said you're not willing to take accountability for anything. Is what you said.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. And like I said, we don't really test. We just observe everything you do. See, men, we're going on with our lives. We have goals that, what I'm saying, we're trying to chase. Men are at least the men who say they are men, they're very driven by a goal. So we're not thinking about we're not going through our day being like, shit, let me test her when I get home. You know what I mean?
More importantly, the type of men that all these women say that they want. Yeah, we're not focused on all that other shit.
We're not focused on any of that other shit. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I do think it's important for women to test. In certain ways, test a man's masculinity.
Can I just say something? Because it made me think about something. Not to interrupt you, but it made me think about this conversation that I was having. And I have a lot of conversation with guys. As a woman, in person in general, I have this innate curiosity about things, like I was telling you earlier. I sit and I talk with a lot of guys from time to time, especially, I talk to you especially, we get into some real deep conversations since we're here. I was talking to this one guy, he's more on the spiritual end of things, but he kind of was just telling me about how men, and you guys can oppose this, I don't know if this is for everyone, it might just be case sensitive for this one specific guy, but he said that men like to be manipulated without realizing that they are. and when they say manipulated, I'm not talking about like the negative connotation of that. I mean like guided without realizing, because like you were saying earlier, men, they're masculine. That's naturally leaders, naturally this, that, and the third that a man is.
Talking about femininity. That's what you're talking about.
Right. But that balance is important. That balance within the balance within every single person as well as women, because if you look at society right now, you look at the mass majority of women, a lot of women feel as though they need to be masculine. A lot of women are taking on the masculinity when it's not really how it's supposed to be. Each individual is supposed to have that balance of femininity and masculinity in balance.
Yes.
Just like, you know, yin yang, so many other examples of that. So I feel like because women need and feel the need to be masculine these days, shit like testing comes along. Shit like it is not something that we're supposed to do. It's unnatural.
But see.
Yeah, what's up?
So there was something that you had said earlier, and I think you kind of like got back in like the area of it where it was like, you said something about societal norms. Mm-hmm. It's not a societal norm. Can you name one time where we might not be around like a bunch of people, like a bunch of white people, a bunch of Asian people, a bunch of Hispanic people, and be like engulfed in like all these different cultures? I know you've got like Hispanic in you and stuff, but
I'm very multiracial.
Yes, but but in terms of like consistently interacting within like those other cultures, have you ever in your life heard any white girl or any Asian girl or any Hispanic, well, maybe Hispanic, but any white girl, any Asian girl, or just like anybody outside of the black race, do you hear other women say anything even remotely close to that when it comes to dealing with men? Have you ever heard a white girl say, I need to cheat on him to test him to say...
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing for me. So let me...
That's what she's talking about.
Okay,
yeah.
so when I say culture, when I say within the culture, though, when I say within the community, the culture, whatever, America, mostly, we're gonna focus on America because I know other cultures they have. Because we're a melting pot here, okay? So it's a lot of other shit. I'm talking about the culture and society within America, whereas we're fucking, like, we're a mess out here. I'm just gonna say that, first of all, okay? We look at other cultures, like, you know, Indians, whatever, and their traditions, their arranged marriages, all this other shit that they do, and other cultures as well that kind of go along the lines of, like, organization, okay? There's a lot more chaos in America and the cultures and societies here that make things normal. And when I say societal norms, I'm not talking about like that's like exactly how things are supposed to be. I'm talking about all the influences that make that the societal norm. Yeah. And so for generations to come after that, people think, oh, that's normal. Oh, so I'm supposed to test him and I'm supposed to do this, that, and the third. And if I don't do that, then that means that, you know, this won't be that. What bothers me about that is, and it's like on other subjects, it bothers me too, is that people cannot just fucking do shit naturally. What do you feel like you need to do for that situation that doesn't fucking irritate someone else or bother someone else? Or why do you feel the need to go out your way to test and irritate other people?
Being inconsiderate of other people's feelings. Like, if I do this, then this. I might crack jokes. I'm, like I said, funniest person you know. But like when it comes to saying certain shit, I there's plenty of times on a daily basis where I'll literally think of some shit and I'll be about to say like, nah, like this person might respond to this statement this way. I don't even want to. I'm not even about to risk
holding space for other people
and not even say nothing.
Holding space for other people and being conscious in the shit that you decide to say and do.
Exactly.
But that's not normalized. That's the part that bothers me. That's the thing that's fucking missing. It's the fact that these things are taught. And so people continuously start to do it, then all of a sudden everybody's fucking doing that shit. Unless you're just conscious, you're aware of like, you know, what you shouldn't be doing. Like how you said, and this is like a little offset, but just going back to it, how you said that men are just now being able to be like, I feel anxious, or I'm not well in mind right now, or, you know, actually becoming aware of mental health.
Yeah.
Societal norms made it to where men were ignored. And it was to the point where you guys were doing, you know, and this is in a general sense, you guys were doing so bad, nobody could see it, and so it was normal.
And we weren't allowed to say it.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to say it. It was something that nobody paid attention to. Nobody gave a fuck if you were tired and you didn't like feel up to a certain task. Oh, you're a man, so you're supposed to go and do this. You got to take care of house and home, and you got to go out there and fucking do X, Y, Z.
I think both is true though. You should also pay attention. You should pay attention to, you know, your mental health. But men are definitely supposed to be able to fight through that, because if we don't fight through that, it's not going to be anything to eat in the house. The kids aren't going to have any clothes to wear. You know what I mean? The light's going to be turned off. So there is both, but I think now we're addressing the other side, and that definitely needs to be addressed. Men should definitely be men and learn how to fight through it, but we also it's good that we're addressing the other side.
But at the point that it becomes too much. At the point that it becomes too much, you have to know your limit. Like, you know, like, hey, like this is getting to the point where I might not want to even exist anymore. Like there's, or even if you feel like you're going, like once you see like that road open up, you see that fork in the road. If you even see that fork in the road, you need to talk to somebody, or you might need to ask for advice. Like if you don't have a mentor or some shit like that, or if you have a circle of friends and you can't talk to your friends about something like that because you feel like they might joke on you and that might make you feel even more insecure about it, like that's the time where it's like you have to know your limit as well. Example, the dude, irony, right? So this shit literally just happened within like the last, what's today, Tuesday?
Yeah, no,
Wednesday. So in the last 2 days, Henry Ruggs, wide receiver for the Falcons, I can't remember if he played on Sunday or not, but he just took a leave of absence from football for his mental health because of personal shit that he's dealing with outside of football. Now, last year, before Antonio Brown got picked up by the Bucs, he was looking like he was a fucking maniac, the way that he was acting and like all the videos and the way he was talking in the media and shit, right? But he got himself into a space that was more comfortable for him. He calmed down, fell in line, and he's back on track. Now, also, I think they were former teammates, but back to Calvin Ridley. I think one of his former teammates, who also went to the University of Alabama with him, he just got hit with he just had a DUI yesterday morning that resulted in death. They went to the same school. Now, Calvin Ridley ended up stepping away from football. Henry Ruggs might have been dealing with something. They dealt with it two different ways. One still in the league, taking a leave of absence. The other one's facing minimum 2 years prison time. And like knowing how to cope with that and knowing your limit and knowing what to do, what not to do, what's good. Even though I feel super shitty and it feel like it's getting worse, what things would I be able to do that what things am I thinking about doing? What things am I thinking about doing that would make this situation worse? I need to stay away from that.
For sure.
That level, and again, that goes to
bounce off of what you just said. When it's important, like I said, back to those societal norms, it's important to take care of yourself, know yourself, learn yourself. I don't think it's possible to do that while you're with someone. I think you should. It's possible. It depends. It's very like situational. Because if you're with the correct person and they respect you, they respect themselves, they love themselves. Because you cannot fucking try to love someone else if you don't love yourself firstly. Because you have self-love, you understand what it means to love someone else. You understand what it means to like respect someone else. Bottom line. I feel like women with the testing, women with this, that, and the third roots from insecurity. It roots from not knowing you. It roots from not respecting the things that you feel, not respecting yourself. If you feel like you're too chaotic in your mind to be present with someone else, and I've been this girl, so I'm just going to say that firstly.
Can I ask you a question, though, real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
Ask you a question. So this is what I had this question in my mind for a minute, like ever since you had said something about it. But you were, basically what you were saying was that you used to, what the fuck were you saying? Basically, you were saying that you used to be the girl that used to test other men.
Not just
you know?
test. I mean, like, used to be the girl that didn't know themselves.
They didn't know themselves. So this is my question. How did you go from that to where you are now? What process? What's the process? Step by step. Because somebody might see this, it might really want to heal. It might really want to.
And that's great. That's the first
not
step.
go through that anymore. So, talk your shit.
All right, so that's the first step. But I feel like for me, and like I said, it's situational. First step is realizing some shit's wrong. Okay, that's the first step. Being able to acknowledge what the fuck it is. Mm-hmm. All right, you identify it, you go from there. Now, it really has to do with your will to do so, because a lot of people see shit that's wrong and they never fix it. They're like, oh, that's just gonna take too much. It's just gonna no. It takes too much to not be all right. It takes too much to consistently hurt people around you. It takes too much. That negativity, it's like a fucking monster and it eats everything around it. Okay, it's a horrible feeling. It's like being sick. And if you, like, continue to go on about shit like that in your life, everything around you is going to reflect that sickness. Mm-hmm. Okay? All of a sudden, you could be even physically sick eventually from that kind of shit. So, for me, realizing that, and in my, like I said, it's situational. My catalyst was someone that I was with. Mm-hmm. I started seeing them hurt and seeing them XYZ. And so then I was like, all right, I know I'm hurt, but my hurt is reflecting onto that person and hurting them. And it took a lot. It took a lot to even make it to the point where I was actively fixing myself. Like, we went through a lot of fucking shit.
Question.
Yeah, what's up?
Where you said you said that you saw that they were hurting, and you knew that you were hurt. But was there something specific that you were like, oh no, like they might have something going on, but I'm literally projecting onto them. Was there something like a specific event that happened to where you were like, oh no, I'm playing a role in his sadness or this person's sadness?
Absolutely. And sometimes we fucking get to the point where some shit is too late. Like, for me, the catalyst itself was him for me. He was a big part of my growth because he came in and he was so happy and so normal. Mm. I came from a background where my parents were a fucking mess, like both of them. Mm. So all I kind of knew from a very young age, and I raised myself, so all I knew from a very young age was pain. Mm. I only knew what it felt like. And, like, pain was so normal for me that anything outside of that was strange as a bitch. Like, I didn't understand it. And, you know, like, happiness is scary as fuck. It kind of goes back to what I was saying about the reason why women or people in general, I'm going to just keep it generalized because, you know, we can't limit that just to women. You know, it's hurt people in general, hurt people. It's the fear. I feared his happiness. I feared not his happiness, but being happy with him. Mm-hmm. To the point where I was so scared that I was taking myself out of this situation. Like, I could never have this happiness.
And so basically what you're saying is, that's the point that you said something like 2 minutes ago that's what I was looking for. You said when y'all met or whatever, you saw how happy he was. Like, he was like what was considered normal.
Right.
But basically at some point you noticed the difference and he's not who he was when I met him. But you knew that you were hurt.
Okay, so it's not necessarily that. It's, like I said, I had a traumatic childhood for me mentally. I was always in my head. I always had to feel like I had to protect myself. And then I didn't really have a father figure in my life, so that's just like a little background. I feel like that's kind of something that's a little normal, shamefully, within, you know, a lot of families. You have a lot of single mothers or single fathers, because I'm not going to sleep like there isn't single fathers out there. Single parent homes. I've seen his normal. I started being around him and his family and seeing how beautiful, like, and they're not perfect. No family's fucking perfect, but They were together. They had unity. They had all the things that I did not have growing up. And so his happiness but was a catalyst to me realizing how much shit was really fucked up on my side. And so I was just like, damn, okay, I gotta, like, he inspired me. He made me want to meet him where he is. And so it struck up that growth for me. Now, it was not fucking pretty. I'm not gonna sit here and just be like, oh, all of a sudden I just turned around and I just changed and everything was beautiful. No, that shit was horrible. And so if you want to fucking heal, you gotta go through the ugly ass shit. And it's not like healing. I say this all the time to people that are hurting, and I say it to myself too. Healing's not linear. You're not just gonna be fucking good all of a sudden for the rest of your life. It's gonna be ugly as shit. It's gonna be times where you're so low you don't know what the fuck is going on. There's gonna be real high moments. It's up and down a lot. But like I said, he was the catalyst for that. And unfortunately, we broke up because I was realizing so much shit. I started affecting him, and he was sad for me that I couldn't be happy. But really, I realized how simple and how simple things could have been, looking like back and reflecting, because you're not growing unless you're reflecting. If you are not like, and I'm not saying like live in the past and shit, look at the things that matter that are in front of you that help you. Yeah, look yourself in the mirror and really reflect on the things that matter. Don't beat yourself too much. You know what I mean? But like I said, a lot of things have come back to self. What's your self like? What are you like? Have you really experienced yourself before you start to experience other people?
Yes.
Thought that shit. She just, hey,
So,
that was that.
And then, like I said, I wasn't always like perfect. Shit, I'm still fucking growing. I still have my small moments, where I gotta, fix something. I'm still knowing me. So I feel like that's key. Know you. Continue to know you, because you're always growing in the different phases that you're going in and out of. I feel like that's another important thing within a relationship too, is the person that you're with and vice versa. You're supposed to grow with them. You're supposed to respect, honor, and release the last version of them that they were, and then honor the new person that they found, and continue and continue and continue, because we're always growing until the day we die. We're always growing. So, like, that's just my piece on that whole entire thing.
Let me say something. So, I want to give y'all a story. So, I got this friend. Her name is Shay. Shout out to Shay. You know I love you. So, I was at her graduation. This is probably 2017. She graduated from VCU. And we went out to eat. And her parents were there. And I was just watching, you know what I'm saying? And what I noticed was her parents were laughing with each other, being happy, not arguing with each other. And this shit was the weirdest shit to me. It was so weird. I was like, y'all niggas actually like each other? You get what I'm saying? Like, this is possible? No, I was really like freaked out. I was uncomfortable. Because I was like, damn, I'm used to being at a table. My mom and my dad is looking at each other like, bitch, you say something, I'm gonna fuck you up when we get to the crib. Or like, you better goddamn, no, this is my dad's thing. You better, we not getting no to-go place, so you better eat that shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like those little sly looks. I'm used to just the tension. That's what I'm used to in my household. Like I had my mom and my dad, you know what I'm saying? But not everything is sweet when you have both of your parents in your crib. I just saw them argue all the fucking time, all the time.
I feel like that's the black family dynamic too, for the most part. I've seen healthy black families, but for the most part, it's that toxic dynamic.
It's like me, like, just imagine your mom and your dad arguing, you trying to go to sleep, but you can't go to sleep because your dad might kill your mom. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think like you gotta like let me stay up
so I can hear everything.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like me going into a new relationship, trying to not be toxic. It was very difficult because it's like I'm used to chaos. You know what I'm saying? Not just out in the streets, just like in my household, period. So me having to adjust was like, is that very difficult. But I think it can be done. You just gotta want to do it, like the will that she said. You just gotta really want.
Everything.
You gotta really want to do
Got
it.
the freedom of choice.
For me, my dad exists. He wasn't like, you always chuckle when I say
You started out crazy.
What you mean?
Your dad exists. Of course he exists.
I mean, he might not exist anymore. But so my dad existed when I was a kid, but like my parents split when that was 97. So yeah, so I was like 3-4 years old, something like that. So like my dad was like in and out in a way, like he was there, but in terms of effort, he won't really like that. Like he paid child support and shit. He had visitation Tuesdays, Thursdays, alternating Saturdays and Sundays, basically. But in terms of like a father figure type shit, I never even saw like up close and personal father son interaction in any kind of way. Even after what he just described, him interacting with his dad is the first up close and personal father son interaction that I had, and we all just heard what he said, right? So, and that was just in reference to his parents interacting with each other. So even if there was something like that, it might not have, like, you can get an idea that it might not have been like the healthiest father son relationship if it's just the parental side, and that's what was just described, right? So like even shit like that, like I've gotten more knowledge from just watching him and his dad interact than I ever got from mine. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been times where I was in I might have been at Walmart or like in the mall or some shit, and I see like a father like walking with like little son, probably like 4 years old, 5 years old, just like however he interact with him, and I got down like my eyes start watering and shit. Like I didn't actually like cried like in like walking around the mall or in a grocery store or some shit, just like seeing a dad interact with his son. Like, and it's like I never had that. Like, I remember I was at a baseball game. It was coach pitch.
Before you say anything, how do you feel like that affected your relationship with, I guess like your relationships in general? Because your mom, you had a single mom.
Whoa.
What was the situation with that? How did that affect your relationships?
So I wasn't close with either one of my parents. I lived with my mom, but like I didn't like me and my mom weren't best friends or some shit like that. And I'm the youngest, and I know people think like the youngest gets like everything. Like that wasn't the case in my house.
Your parents are pretty much tired by that point.
Yeah. So, so like, how did it affect my relationships, like as an adult, like interacting with certain people?
In general, I mean, since this
the father side or the mother side,
about relationships and women, I mean,
the father side or the mother side.
Experience, period.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like where you said like knowing yourself, everything that you described, I feel like for the most part, I've had a lot of that since I was in high school, like just after high school, because I wasn't the kid that was in the social clubs. I didn't have friends like that in high school. I didn't get my first girlfriend until I was a senior in high school, right? And I was like walking around like with her and like some of her friends or whatever. So that was like my first initial like social interaction and whatnot. But I'll give you an example of me dealing with women, right? And I know what I want, and if it's not there, I'm not dealing with it. I'm not leading you on. I'm not like, no, this is gonna be our interaction. If you're cool with that, all right, cool. If not, I'll move on, whatever. So,
that's different. That's not something that's normal around here.
I know, but also at the same time, the girls that I do fuck with on this level, like I would consider a relationship with you. I know what I'm looking for, like I said, and I know I know what I'll tolerate, what I won't tolerate. Now, the level of attachment that I can get to within a certain time period, within a very short time period, because I know what I want and how quickly that comes about. Years ago, I figured out where that came from, and it's because I wasn't close with my mom. So like that super close feminine interaction or that feminine energy that I actually fuck with, that I want to be attached to, I'll get attached to it like quickly. Like at least in my brain, right? But sometimes I might have tried to go a little too fast sometimes, and they might not have been ready for that at the time. Now,
see, listen, can I say something about that? See, I think you can. I don't think you can really control how fast you go. Meaning, like feelings wise, what I do think you can control is how fast you express it. You know what I mean?
and that was what could have
Discipline.
that was something that could have been.
Discipline.
Because not saying a lot of this is a game, but a lot of this is strategy as well. We gotta make discernments before we give out all the information. We can't tell somebody that we don't know our birthday. You know what I'm saying? Or our social security number. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
So we have to. I think you got a lot of minutes on it. So we have to make sure that they with it before we tell them that much information. Like they don't really gotta know how we feel exactly until you know what I'm saying, they've shown us that we can trust.
Now my rebuttal, because if I fuck with you on that level, I'm not playing with you. Like you're not gonna play with me. So if I can see it on that, well, you know the Courtney situation, but if I fuck with you on that level, I'm gonna let you know that I fuck with you on that level. I'm not going to push you into fucking with me on the same level at that moment, but I'm gonna let you know, like, hey, this is what like basically like, for lack of a better term, your warning, but don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with my emotions. Like I'm telling you, this is where I am. If you're cool with it, if you're cool with me being here and feeling this way, okay, cool. If you're not comfortable like with me, like, damn, why you fuck with me like that so soon? Like, why you like me like that? Why you trying to go on dates and all that? Like right now,
Say about that,
but
though.
it's strategy.
I'm gonna, if I fuck with you like that, I'm gonna communicate it, because I don't want nobody play. Because the same way girls don't want nobody playing with them, you not gonna play with me like that either. Because you gonna have one time, and if you fuck that up, then it's a wrap.
So I kind of want to combine the two things that you were talking about and what CeeLo has said about discernment, strategy, and then you talking about your sureness. It goes back to that fear that people have. Someone being sure is scary. You tend to like question those things, like, why are you so sure? You just so sure on me, and like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, kind of taken back a little bit. I will say for me, I'm a different breed because, and I hate using that term, but it is what I just said it was.
She don't care.
For me, it's like, oh, so you want to shoot like that? You sure? Bet I'm sure too. I like that. I like the confidence to know what the fuck you want. That shows that you're not a fucking one of these regular ass niggas out here that's so confused to the point where they don't know what they want. You know, I feel like that should be.
Does that make you regular?
Or
it doesn't.
It might not be. It might not be. They don't know what they want. They might be afraid of saying it out of fear of the female's reaction, because females get sensitive, or
sureness though.
I can go a deeper level.
Guys will not say a lot of things or not do a lot of things out of fear of triggering the female's insecurity. They might have their own, but they might not say certain things or carry a situation a certain way out of fear of triggering the female's insecurity. And women don't know that. We just, the same way he said earlier, like, we'll just move how we move and observe. We might not say certain shit out of respect for your potential insecurities or how you might respond to it. And women don't know that we do that.
Yeah, I will say though, this is like, hold on, I will say that, like, talking to y'all, I'm enjoying this because gives me more insight within a man's world in their mindset, and I'm starting to like connect it to other conversations that I've had with other guys, and it makes sense, which is why I said I had that curiosity, because I want to know how to move in like the most light way. I'm not talking about like, oh, I just want to use this information and manipulate it for my like, doing. Yeah. No, it's not that. It's I want to know how to move so that way I can also insist in attracting what's for me.
And what you
okay, not because I just want to make some shit be what it's gonna be because I want it to be that way. It's interesting to hear y'all talk about stuff like this, and going back to like the sureness that you were saying, for me, like I said, that's attractive for me. That's showing me that you're being selective. I like that, but I feel like a lot of times, and it goes back to like that societal norm too that I was talking about, where it's like this culture where women say that's thirsty, where they say that being sure is like, kind of like a front or whatever. For me, like I said, I think differently than that, but it's because I'm always learning and I'm open to that.
And you've done some work.
And I've done
the work.
To do work.
Yeah.
Still doing work. Okay. Mm-hmm. We cutting you off. He's like, I'm trying to get in where I can fit in at.
So at the same, hold on, my bad. At the same time, right? Okay, so basically, what you're saying is that if a guy tells you like, "Oh, boom, I want you," like you like that.
I like it, and if it aligns with me, like what I was telling you earlier in our conversation, if something does or does not align with you, you have the choice to be like, "Hey, this is not for me. I respect whatever it is that you feel," or
for sure.
Whatever,
if you feel the same way, basically.
But if I feel the same way, I'm for it.
So this is what I'm saying, right? A lot of times that may. No, I mean what you said makes sense. This is my thing, right? Boom. I'm gonna give y'all a story. Okay, so there's this girl that I was fucking with real hard, right? Mm-hmm. And you know the story.
I know.
You know the story. So when I first met her and we first started hanging out, so sure. Super sure. Like I wanted like marriage. Like I'm thinking about long term. Like I'm thinking about like I'm actually thinking about like, damn, I might fucking love you. You know what I mean? Like 2 weeks in. Then with the things that I've been through, like I realized like I have OCD. This is this thing called relationship OCD, right? So where like it starts, like OCD starts with a doubt. Once you go in from a doubt, you start to doubt everything. You know what I'm saying? You start to doubt the way you look at this person. It's the fear. You start to doubt the way you look at this person. You start to doubt, like, do I really fuck with this person? Do I really like the way her hair looks? Do I really like the way her ass feels? Do I really like this? Do I really like that? That. That's what I'm saying. You start to think like, is this person really right for me? But in the beginning, everything that you were searching for was there. Then the fear, like you said, the fear starts coming in, and it starts to cloud your judgment. So being sure, like, are you saying like, okay, being sure you like that, but sometimes a nigga can really want you, but not be sure because of the fear that he is faced with. The fear that like, boom, like, damn, this is a good relationship. I never fucking seen this shit before. Like, this is this is weird to me.
But that's
you know
what's
what
so
I mean?
important about flow, about flow. Okay. One thing that I found.
What is flow?
And that's what I'm about to explain. What flow is. Okay. One thing that I found during my healing journey, like I said, I'm still consistently on it. It never stops. Flow is just letting shit be. Don't put your hand in it. Don't try to twist shit up in your mind. Don't question shit too much. I mean, it's like I said, the discernment, the figuring out, how does this feel for me? How am I feeling? How does that person feel? How do I feel around that person? How does that person feel around me? Mm-hmm. That matters. Flow, as in, letting things take its natural course. Like I said, if something is not for you, it's going to show that it's not for you now. Your acknowledgement and how close you're paying attention to that is key. Okay? It's one of the keys, at least.
Pay attention, the more questions you may ask.
But
you can ask your questions, but you need to know yourself in order to know what does not align with you.
Let me say this. Hold on. I gotta say this because I tell you this all the time. Hold on.
Wait. I got you. Listen. Okay. So this is I'm gonna tell you my story, right? Because no, I got you. Wait, no. I'm
tell all these stories.
Listen. It's just a little bit. It's just a little piece of it, right? All right. So boom. I told y'all about what happened, right? Now, say you're in a situation with them, and it's easy. What you're saying, the solution is try not to think about it too much, right? But imagine.
Don't destroy your own happiness. Don't destroy it.
But listen, imagine you're with this person and your heart is pumping out your chest. And what you see is like you feel like you're high. You feel like you just took a Benadryl. That anxiety gets so... No, I'm dead ass.
Okay,
that anxiety gets so deep that you really can't control it. So it's hard, like... For somebody that dealt with what I dealt with, it's hard to just say stop. Try to stop thinking about it, because
it's deeper. It's that you need to do though.
That's a self work for sure. No. That's a self. It goes back to self. I'm just saying.
But don't you think that when you start to be unsure in yourself and your decisions and what you want, it then, like he said, projects onto the other person, and then everyone's fucking unsure.
Most
and then
definitely.
Things become unclear. But you went back to the root of things. You were sure. You should have stayed in that sure energy and let it continue to flow.
But it's something that I didn't realize that I was going through my whole life until I fucked with her. So
she was the catalyst.
She was the catalyst for the healing.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm just saying it's way harder like to say, oh, just being sure. Like imagine telling a crack addict like just don't use crack. Like get off the pipe. They can be like, if I get off the pipe, I'm not gonna be able to shit. I'm not even gonna be able to sleep. I'm not gonna be able to eat. It's harder than just saying boom, like just get off the shit. But that's definitely what needs to happen though. That's a part of healing. That's a part of healing. You have to sacrifice for sure.
Now, Ash, I want you to say what you.
My soliloquy.
I want you to say what you said again before he went into that, because he has his side and I have.
But what was I saying though? Because look,
talking about Steven, you know what you were talking about. You just did that whole story.
Yeah. R.L. Stein over here. What was your point?
So
what was my point?
Yeah, because
my point was
going off of. Like, what
did I say?
What did she say?
Oh, she was saying that it was stay in that sureness, you know what I'm saying? Try not to venture off from, you know what I'm saying, what you want and shit like that. You got it?
I don't think that was my original point, but that's fine. It was fine. It was about flow, I think.
Flow.
Now.
Flow. That's your new name.
Now we get into my my SIR back. But how many times? Me and this nigga had these conversations all the time. No.
So wait, is this directed to me?
No.
Okay.
This is just general.
He's verbally punching me.
You know, but how many times have I said, set your boundaries and do not move them? If the shit is making you uncomfortable, say something. Or if you're feeling a certain type of way, let that person know, like, hey, I'm feeling this type of way. Now, I know your circumstance, so you ain't got to go back into that. But setting the boundaries, acknowledging the boundaries, and vocalizing how you're feeling about it, but still not compromising the boundaries that you set, is the part that people don't stick to. Because two people will be in a relationship, and hey, I don't like the way you, like, when if you have a bad day, I don't like your tone of voice when you walk through the door. Like I just had a good day. Like I might have just had a good day. You might just fuck my whole day up in in 30 seconds with you walking through the door. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you say, whatever you do, how you talk to me, how you treat me, acknowledgement, lack of acknowledgement, how you express whatever in public. Some people have different love languages and all that jazz. But people like if something like okay, so how I might get attached to a certain female that I fuck with on a certain level or whatever, right? Regardless of whether I see that potential in you or not, there's levels, but there's certain shit that you're not gonna do. I'm not gonna let you do it because I know where my brain's gonna go. And I'm not trying to be in that frame of mind. So, like, I'm going to say something. I might let it slide the first time. Like, yeah, it might have been an accident. Second time, I'm gonna say something. Like, but you only gonna get a certain number. Especially like after I tell you. If you keep doing the shit after I tell you, now you playing with me, and you're not gonna play with me. So I'm gonna dead this right here. So that's in terms of the actual interaction. Now. Like if I fuck with you like that, well, regardless. But even when it's like, even if I'm not talking about like romantically, like if we just fucking whatever, and I fuck with you, but I don't fuck with you like that. This is what I'm willing to do, or like this is. This is the level that I'm willing to take it to, but it's not going further than this. Are you okay with this? Yes or no? Yes, we can proceed. Not, we can proceed. Like, but I'm not. But I'm not. Like, we're gonna proceed how we need to proceed, but I'm not changing it. But it's people saying that they set their boundaries and not sticking to them, or you'll draw a line in the sand and like, nah, we like the sex is fire, so I'll erase the line and I'll take 3 steps back and I'll draw another line.
It should be like that though, bro. They pussy ain't good enough.
It ain't good enough. It's fire, but you ain't gonna play with me. But like, I'm not just because of the pussy or what. I mean, nigga, you know. You know, but like just because pussy fire, or just because you cook good, or just because like your family fuck with me, like your family don't have nothing to do with me. Like I'm dealing with you. Like that shit don't have nothing to do with me. You're only gonna play with me up to a certain point, and I've got my boundaries, and I'm not moving them. So like, do you fit into these boundaries? Like, I'm gonna respect whatever your boundaries are. Like, if you tell me to stop leaving my shoes in the living room. Like if me and a girl living together, like, hey, can you not leave all of your shoes in the living room? Or like when you wash your clothes, don't just like throw them on and you throw them in the dryer. You don't just throw them on the couch. Like actually fold them in, like da da da. Like certain shit. Like you only gonna tell me a certain number of times before you raise your voice, right?
No, for sure.
Like it's the same thing. But when you're talking about when I'm talking about me getting my emotions involved, that's one thing you're not gonna play with. Like, if you're talking about money, if I got the money and I can do whatever for you or some shit like that, money's not the most important thing for me if I can do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about playing with my emotions, or like when I put my emotions in something, if that shit gets played with, my brain's going to a certain point, and I'm gonna cut that shit off.
Right, because you're invested.
Let me ask you this though.
Okay.
Do you think that's part of your trauma or part of your healing?
Both.
It can be dual that way.
You can't, if you don't have boundaries, you can't heal.
Yes, that I definitely agree with that.
How you gonna heal without boundaries? You know
That's a fact.
That because it goes back to that self-respect and respect for others. Knowing yourself, knowing your boundaries, knowing what you're willing and not willing to do out of respect for yourself. Exactly,
and it's like. When I say I have my boundaries set and you're not gonna play with me, that's for both of us. double entendre. I'm joking. But like you not playing with me or me not letting you play with me that goes for both of us, because if you play with me, I know where my brain's gonna go, and if this is the mood that I'm in or the frame of mind that I'm in, that's not gonna be good for you either. So if I'm not in the right frame of mind, and me not being in the right frame of mind, you might, because I know how I can communicate sometimes. Like, if I'm mad enough, I'm not going to say anything. And I'm going to remove myself. And women, that's going to make them mad. Right? Because, tell me how you feel, and da-da-da. Like, if I tell you how I feel right now, you're going to cry. And I'm going to cut you the fuck out. And if I get to that point where I verbalize, like, when I'm that angry, I'm not gonna want to deal with you anymore. Period. Like, I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna let that come down. It might be 3-4 days. If we talk like 3-4 days, you might feel some type of way about that. But if that's the time that I need for me to calm down, so then I can properly communicate that to you without completely destroying the relationship, because that's what's gonna happen, I'm gonna do that.
So I got something to say off of that, because this is like, obviously we're all sitting here kind of slightly talking about like our personal situations or whatever. It brings me back to a situation that I have where I'm practicing a lot of stuff with him. And obviously, that has to be done on the other side too, in order for things to, like I said, have a flow, for things to initially work.
Flow. Yeah.
Hearing you talk about the space that men take, and I'm just going to generalize it, like I said, that a very pivotal, important space that y'all take to collect yourselves before you do something that you don't want to do, or whatever the case might be. I'm learning that. I'm learning that my space is my space, and that the person that I love and care about, their space is their space, and to respect that. Yeah. Women do have a hard time accepting the space. But we just take ours. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
say that again.
We have a hard time accepting a man's space.
What do you mean?
But
a man taking time to be in his own space.
To breathe, to do whatever the fuck you do that like calms you down and clears your mind so you can make your decisive decisions. Okay? For me, I'm learning how to accept that and respect it. Okay, like I said, I had a traumatic childhood. My parents were very sporadic, and so when they would take space, I'd be like freaking the fuck out, because I had to abandonment. And so that, I can say that's like the one thing that I'm actively working on, is not feeling abandoned. Okay, because I'm doing that to myself. It's fucking torturous. For real.
Talk your shit.
So it's like, but lo and behold, this person, like you said, out of respect for the situation, for yourself, for her, etc., you're doing that, and it's initially a us thing. Yeah. So, but it's hard to change that.
Because at the end of the day, if with me being in that frame of mind, because I know where, like, what mood I'm gonna be in, and if I do talk about it, what tone of voice I'm gonna have, nothing's gonna be filtered. I'm not giving a fuck about your feelings, because especially if I'm feeling this way, I'm trying to take time. If you start trying to push me to open the door, you're gonna catch all hell. If you want to catch a little hell, that's fine. But you won't catch all of it.
See, but it's not even just like
at that point, like I know you're gonna, whatever I say, I feel like it's going to leave a permanent stain of some sort. OxyClean not gonna get out of that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it's going to leave some sort of a permanent stain, and I'm not one to like if you did some shit, and this is why I say something about boundaries, right? Because if you cross one of my boundaries and I know how that really, really makes me feel, I might not fully express the full dynamic of how that makes me feel, the why. I might not even got into that. Yeah, you might not even know all that. You know,
then you can handle
exactly. So it's like if I open that up to you, it's
Hold on, because I still got something to say about that. It's just when I'm saying like space, I'm not even just saying like space as in something happened and so you feel like you need to. I'm talking about general space, like
That's what I was asking.
when life is beating you the fuck up, or like anything can happen when it throughout your day when we're not together, and you just come, like you said, come home in a funk. Like maybe you just need space. That's the part that I'm trying to press. I'm trying to just.
I'm the type to feel energy type shit because when
I pick up on that shit all the time too.
Let's say he dealing with whatever he dealt with, some shit went on, da da da. If I walk in the room like, yo, what's good, da 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 da, I can hear tone of voice, I see facial expressions. 80% of communication is nonverbal. So body language and all. You know, it's like, just are you gonna choose to ignore that and keep pressing and pressing and pressing, or you're like, okay, but like I'm gonna give him a second. I'm gonna come back in like an hour. I'm gonna come back in like 2 hours or whatever. Like, and get like you can see it. So if you can see it and you know when somebody's pissed off, same way we in the house party, we know when a fight about to break out. There's a reason for that. We can feel everything in the room. We see what's going on. We see interaction. Da 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 da. I can see your responses to me.
Right. It's the practice of that respect. You know what I'm saying? And conscientiousness. That's the part that I am. Like I said, I'm constantly growing, as we all should be. If you're not growing, then you are steady being stagnant. And likely, probably sick, either in mind or probably both, physically and in mind, especially mind. You know, there is like organs, and your mind is really the root of where a lot of things start to progress from, whether that's negative or positive. But back to like my initial point is that I also am learning, and I feel like this is something that a lot of women have to learn, and men as well, within a relationship, is learning how to be gentle. And when I say gentle, as in, all right, that's your truth, that's what it is. When you need me, I'm here. I'm stepping back. Like I said, that healthy manipulation in order to guide your person, understanding that, because I had to pick that up. I had to pick that skill up and learn that within my situation where I had someone that was going so ballistic all the time. He was so unwell in mind and so unhappy that I had to find my place within it. So it was like, all right, I know that this, that, and the third is going on with you. Sometimes it could have to deal with me. Maybe indirectly, maybe you felt something that I was feeling. Who knows? I have to learn how to just hold space for you while that's going on.
Yeah.
And then allow you to find what you need to find in return.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like the reason why, like, even with my example with him, like, that's the reason why I know I can do that so well is because I know, like, all right, so, like, social life wise, like, when I was like a kid and like coming out of middle school, high school, whatever, like, I didn't have people that I called friends. Like, I was on basketball team, volleyball team, shit. I didn't hang out with people outside of school. I didn't go to any house parties until I was in college. Like, I didn't have a girlfriend until when I was 17, senior year of high school. You know what I'm saying? But so most of that time I was at school, like practices of some sort, or I was at home. I was by myself a lot. So like even in like the music that I make and whatnot, you'll be able to tell that I'm by my, like, there's a you say like a loneliness to it.
You're amongst people, but you still feel like you're by yourself.
Yeah. So like even
we got that a lot of like
it even like yeah, I don't, like, I just started popping back out to like not social clubs, but social scenes like bars or Grain or Ballyhoo's or whatever. And
what is this place y'all keep speaking of?
It's off a Short Drive in Great Neck. Nah.
Ballyhoo's.
Sounds white.
Or it sounds very. I'm about to say very.
Shout out to them.
Very
you know
Bama.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not necessarily going there to like, I don't be thinking about like getting at girls like the whole time that I'm like there or anything like that. Like I'm like more so trying to be in the presence of people without talking to people. I don't mind being in the presence of people, just existing, but I don't want to talk to everybody.
You want to interact.
I don't want to have nobody.
You pick and choose. You're an ambivert. You pick and choose when you interact, or are you just complete introvert? Ambivert is both.
Okay, so introvert versus me just like being like the more outgoing side of shit.
Because an ambivert is being an extrovert, and an introvert accepts you pick and choose when you do so.
I'm way more introvert. Like at least 70%, at the very minimum. But it's
Can you say the definitions again?
No, I was just saying that obviously we know that introverted are people who completely stay to themselves in like their own company, or kind of like the example where you want to be around the energies of other people, but you don't want to actually physically interact. And then obviously extroverts, social butterflies of the sort. And then ambivert is you pick and choose. It's situational for you. Pick and choose what you want to be and who you are for that moment. I mean, you are you, but you choose.
I think like as I'm getting older, I think when I was younger, definitely introvert. But like as I'm getting older, ambivert for sure. Because like, okay, like he said, like I can go to a bar and have on my headphones and not talk to anybody. I'll know people in there.
I do that shit all the fucking time when I go out by myself and I just like sit in a restaurant or some shit. I'll just be sitting in a restaurant and I'll just throw on my earbuds.
Yeah.
I'll throw on my earbuds and just be listening to music or listening to a podcast or some shit. I don't even want to talk to the waiter.
It's just about like, cause he knows like 90% of the time when I'm here, I'm either asleep or on the computer editing. So it's like I don't really have a lot of time to get out or whatever. So I use the time to go to the bar, to be around people, to feel the energy of other people. I don't necessarily have to converse with them, but I just like to feel the energy of not being cooped up in front of a computer all the time. So I might go there and put on some headphones, but it might be a spot like Utopia Finney where I can not show off not can show out.
Definitely shout out.
Yeah, shout out Utopia, where I can show off my charisma, because I feel like that's one thing that I was blessed with. Like I know how to see a person and make them feel good. You know what I'm saying? By something that I say. So I might go to somewhere and be able to show off my charisma, but it might be another spot. It might be a video shoot with all street niggas with guns, and I'm just silent, cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like I adjust to the situation that I'm in. But yeah, I guess that you call
adaptation.
Adaptation.
And see, I'm glad that you brought up something like Utopia Finney. Shout out to them again. But something like that where where I make music, I can see visions in my head, whatever. Like even like the song Cheesecake Cookies that I put out last year, like 4 lines into like I was like halfway through the hook. I didn't even have any part of the verse, and I could see the whole music video for like how I wanted it to go. There's a certain level of artistic vision that I have. So a setting like Utopia Finney, or you remember what the fuck is it called? Fucking Big Sierra's friends with them.
I know what you're talking about.
The jank that was off of Granby Street by Bob's Gun Shop.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Damn, what the fuck was the name of that shit?
But her Big Sierra shit.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's something. She's at Slow Dive, Norfolk right now, but I don't know why I can't remember the spot. But like them type settings where it's more people that's like that I know I fit in with more directly, or that have similar characteristics or have similar type interests. Where you do modeling, you do photography, you do like creative shit, right? You do creative shit as well. You make music, you shoot videos, like you know how to dress. I make music. I know how to dress. I know what I'm saying a little bit. You know what I'm saying? One time for the biddies. You know what I'm saying? Holla at your boy. But but like other people who know how to play instruments. or other people who sing or other people who are rapping are actually good at it.
You feel more comfortable with people that we're similar to. But
Like those are the rooms that I feel more comfortable in.
We look for that commonality. We look for, and that's how you grow relationships. You look for the things that you have in common with other people. It creates comfort. It creates that, the ability to form a bond. You're not gonna sit there and continue a conversation or try to get to know somebody you have nothing in fucking common with, for real. Or you can have differences, but I feel like the stronger, right? What's the point? What's the point in continuing someone that's complete opposite? But I feel like a part of like open mindedness too is also accepting those people that are like nothing like you, and that's fine. Sometimes opposites are good. You can learn from opposites. You can learn from things that are differential.
There just needs to be enough of a similarity, at least in like some area. Now, if you have like different views or interests like everywhere else, there needs to be a reason why I would even want to be around you in the first place. Where I make music, I'm about to like start getting back into like or like actually go forward more into like getting back into like the modeling space and shit like that. You might be somebody that I contact. I might want you to like sew something on a jacket for me, or do some shit like that. That might be a similar interest. We might not have anything else in common outside of. If I was just a model, I didn't even make music, and you're a model and you do all this other shit, and like, okay, cool. This might be where we link, and might be completely different apart from that. But this is the reason why I would still even be interested in being around.
Connection is very important.
Yeah.
So like those connections that you form, obviously they have to feel like they have some kind of value and purpose for it to continue.
Can I ask
you know what I mean?
Question?
What's the question? R.L. Stein.
So, do you think connection is as important for women as it is for men? Because I feel like for men, it's way more important than it is for women. What do you think?
Again, I cannot speak
or women,
in a general sense for myself as I can. Shut up, Nigel. I can only speak for myself, but I feel like connection is important for everyone. I mean, I can't say what your morality is. I can't say what you hold on the highest pedestal in your life of what you feel as though you need. Like I said, it depends. It depends person to person. I can't say it really genuinely. For me, and I feel like just the kind of women that I'm around, connection is important. But I do feel like connection takes a back burner when it's some other shit that they feel as though, not necessarily lacking, there's some other stuff that they might feel as though is more important. Like you've got the women who are completely satisfied with a man who has money, even though he fucking mistreats her.
What I'm saying.
Or you said that has money, but what?
But mistreats her.
Okay.
You know how like the shit where it's like, oh, I'd rather cry in a fucking Lamborghini or in a Porsche and be set for life than right. But see, that's the thing. Like I said, connectivity is not always important from person to person. For a person like me,
connectivity, but also them boundaries. Because if you really like back the boundaries, but
step across that line, boss. What they say in life? You ain't never seen Life.
Yes, I did see Life. You be trying to play me, and he be trying to play me and act like I ain't never seen none of the black movies and shit. But like
you trying to reject your black card? Is it because he's mulatto? Let me stop.
Hey,
I'm mulatto. I'm mulatto, but I'm asking him though.
You white?
I'm not white. Don't ever come. He's getting real disrespectful over here. Like that's on my native roots. That's on my African roots. Don't ever.
My mom is like,
and that's fine, but not this African. Okay.
My mom is lighter than you, and she hates when I call her white. I'd be like, "What's up, white lady?"
It's fine.
White lady, and she'd be so
fine.
mad.
But back to what I was saying, like where you saying like where the girls will, where the girls will still fuck with a street nigga, or fuck with a nigga that has money because he has money, even though he mistreats you. If you real solid with yourself, you don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck how good the pussy is. I don't give a fuck how good the head is. I don't give a fuck how good you cook. I don't give a fuck. Like, there's certain shit that you're not gonna do, and there's certain things where I'll tell you, like, we can have a conversation, like, bring it up, whatever. Or if you step to me like, hey, I see like your mood changed after I said this or blah 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 blah. If we get into that conversation, like, all right, cool. Now you know what it is. Now if you continuously violate that shit, you out of here. Like, delete it. But like, regardless, like, if it's somebody with money and you dealing with somebody with money or some shit like that, if that's the basis for why you continue it, for why you continuously fuck, like, bro, if there was a bridge of money across the Grand Canyon and you try to walk on that bitch, you falling through it. That shit's not solid.
Yeah, it's not stable.
That shit ain't stable.
It's stable because money could go away at any point, and that's where your loyalty flies out the window, I guess.
Man,
and the fact that that's why you there, you already in the wrong. Like, you already in the wrong, and you only sabotaging yourself, especially when you continue to stay there.
Well, I'm pretty sure people that are in situations like that where it's just all about one specific thing, like, i.e. money. They probably feel very dissatisfied every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're that fucking vain, where money is like the root of all your happiness. Like I said, if that shit is gone the next day, you ain't happy no more.
But it's crazy.
You're not solid anymore. You're leaving. You're about to disperse, most likely.
See, the thing is, as crazy, as vain as it may seem, it may not actually be vain to them, because money may be a symbol for love. Money may be a symbol for attention. They may have gotten money from people throughout their lives that supposedly
was looking out for them or some shit.
That say they love them, they would just give them money. They would give them money to show how much they love. So maybe the money may be a
what happens though?
For the love.
No, I get that.
But
I get that. It has to do with how you were raised up, what your norms were. But let's say that same person that's so satisfied in their life with money, they all of a sudden see a couple that's very in love, and they might not have everything in the fucking world, but they got the fucking love. They would feel, and I'm like almost, pretty sure about this. They would feel a little bit stirred. Like, damn, it's just like people who have all the fucking money in the world. These fucking billionaires. Look at fucking Kanye. Nigga looks unhappy as fuck. Like,
and Kim Kardashian stepping out with Pete Davidson of all people.
Yeah, so it's just like, I didn't know about that. That's some other fucking tea. We about to turn into the shade room.
One of the nerdiest looking niggas on TV. One of the corniest looking niggas on TV. Like, he probably cool. He probably the coolest fucking person. But
he's stepping out with Kim Kardashian.
Shout out to him.
But see, this okay. So like back to my example. Once we stop being shade room and baller alert.
I'm just saying, like, if he busting none of them shits and she have his kid, he better, like, divorce her, take half.
I'm fucking dead. They probably signed a prenup whole time. No, so like I said, like, seeing these people who have all this money and status and shit, they're really fucking unhappy. So for someone to be thinking like, oh, money is just that's the root of my happiness, that's all. And they see someone walk past with a true relationship, that shit looks happy, people are in love. They feel stirred. They feel unsatisfied. I noticed that that's a human trait to have.
Or let's take
dissatisfaction.
Let's take it back to the
wanting more.
Let's take it back to the example that I said earlier, where I was like, I didn't see like the father and the son in a grocery store, and it made me feel some type of way.
Right, dissatisfaction. You're not satisfied. You can have everything in the world and then see something else that you don't have.
Yeah.
That's missing. It'll stir you.
Or you just feel content with where you are, and you see some shit that you don't have that.
Then you're not content.
That you really needed.
So, see, this could root right back to our original subject. Do you feel like dissatisfaction in the, let's say, social media, seeing people and these couples, these quote unquote happy couples?
Oh, they fucking lying.
Okay, so what I was saying was, it's like seeing those kind of things can stir that dissatisfaction back to Shorty, who feels like she needs to test her man. Oh, is he really satisfied with just me? So I need to do this XYZ.
How about
do you feel like?
And my thing is, why don't
that
you?
Is the rule of
if it's something like that, why don't you put some more effort in
to yourself?
Put some more effort in. If you want to see how much he fucks with you or some shit like that, put some more effort in other areas that actually matter in terms of enhancing your relationship. And if it stays stagnant,
then it's not it.
Then you can have a conversation, or then that's when you can start to look like this might not be for me.
That's a great strategy.
Okay,
like put some more effort into it. Don't say I'm gonna go outside of you, like the original subject of the conversation said. I'm gonna go outside of this relationship, go bust it open for another nigga to see if you really fuck with me. Women. May I see.
That's how you get killed.
Women. Nah. Well,
no, bro.
No. Well, we're not
going to kill him.
Yes,
bitches right now, bro.
Yes.
Okay.
They are. That's not the right way to go about it.
No, it's not.
Of course, it's not. But it's reality.
But in terms of that,
like Shorty at Military Circle that hit you with the car. You ain't see that?
No.
You ain't see that in Janus Shopping Center? She straight rolled over dude. And then got out and still hit him with something else.
How long ago was that?
That was a minute ago. But
yeah, I feel like I saw that.
That's you're sick. Just let people do what the fuck they do.
No.
Let them go.
That's crazy.
Let them
The car got out and it stood over the nigga.
But what I was saying,
bitch.
But what I'm saying,
sick. I cannot support.
But what I'm saying is, even like for the original subject, for you to be in a relationship with a dude, and then for you to say, I'm going to, in order to test the guy that I'm currently fucking, that I say I'm emotionally invested in, I'm going to go outside of him, go bust it open for a whole nother nigga.
Y'all don't like that shit.
No,
y'all do not.
Hold on.
But we be ready to kill a bitch.
Hold on. Hold on. But for her to say, I'm gonna go outside of the relationship that I'm in and go bust it open for another nigga to test him. Ladies, you will always be the loser.
Yeah.
You will always be the loser. You don't win by doing that.
Anyone doing that is a loser.
If that's the reason, first of all, you
fuck this bitch to see if the other bitch really like me. What?
I'm gonna go. To test you to see how much you fuck with me. I'm gonna fuck your best friend because she been in my DMs the whole time. I'm gonna fuck your best friend and tell you and show you the video just to see if you don't stay with me after that, you didn't really fuck with me. How that sound? You sound like a fucking idiot. You sound fucking stupid, and you're using that to try and test a man's masculinity, as to to test whether he fucks with you or not. And then if he doesn't fuck with, and then if he doesn't stay with you, those women will come out of their mouth and say, "Well, you ain't seen your why you none of Then they try and flip it to being the man's fault. And so then at that point, you're trying to test this man's masculinity based on some fuck shit that you did.
They're gonna flip it.
They're gonna flip. If that's your mindset and you get caught and the nigga not rocking with it, they're gonna flip it and say that it's your fault.
And look, don't get sent to the upper room. The upper room. Cause they will smoke your ass. Do not do that shit.
And again, that's not the way to go about it. But for you to sit here and think that you about like the same way that women is good for, they're good for when they get mad, they quick to put hands on a nigga, push a nigga, slap it, and whole time as women, you don't know that when you do some shit like that, when there's combat as men, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, there's combat. If there's combat, our brain goes to a certain place.
It goes to death.
And women get away with doing shit like that. Women get away with doing shit like that, and we can't respond. We're not. If we respond the same way that they respond, it's a problem.
I get the double standards for sure.
It's a problem.
I don't encourage it.
Some fuck shit like that. If you want to go out and get you some dick, don't break up with the nigga to go fuck somebody else and then come back like, oh no, I just needed a break and da 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 da. Like if you wanna go fuck somebody else,
you just use a word I want to talk about real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay. Do y'all believe in breaks? Like, is that something you find is necessary? Do you think that, would you accept someone from taking a break from you? I guess it would really depend on like what it was for.
You want to fuck another nigga? Hell to the no.
I'm not saying if it's just like that, like breaks in general.
There's
I don't believe personally. I don't like if you feel like you can't do something.
Work through it together.
With me, and you ain't gotta necessarily do it with me. You can do that shit on your own, and we can still remain together. But you feel like you need to go take a break.
Let me make a
it's
suggestion.
some other shit that you need to find. But I will be okay, depending on the circumstance. I will be okay if you're taking that break, and it's not for something like fucking that would change like and switch up everything. I'm perfectly fine with people doing what the fuck they need to do for them. The issue is people not being honest and upfront about what that is, because communication be on fucking E. Like people be so scared of what someone else got to say, but if it has to do with your peace, do that shit.
Like, how do I feel about taking breaks? Yes.
Do you feel like it's necessary? Would you stay with someone who feels as though they need to take a break from you? Would you be okay with someone, and not even be okay, because it's not about whether you're okay with it or not.
Let me say this. So, I see this shit a lot. I've seen it a lot. I'm 28. I've been around since like Twitter first came up and about and whatnot. So I've been seeing like how people express their actual thoughts on social media. So I've been seeing people express the same sentiments and whatnot. If you get mad at your partner because they need a break from whatever the fuck is going on, there's something wrong with you.
So you believe in breaks?
Hold on. Let me get to it. Let me get to it, because you might feel like you need a break from your job. Your job not letting you off. You getting fired from your job. You ain't gonna have no income. If you need a break from your relationship,
maternity leave.
Let's say you ain't got none.
You ain't got no baby. You ain't getting no maternity leave.
Boom.
Dads do get maternity leave sometimes.
Paternity leave.
Paternity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, whatever.
So, but whole point being,
We got
if I need space or you need space, the reason why I brought up the job thing is because your job has been stressing you the fuck out. Your manager been getting on your nerves. You've been dealing with your baby mama, baby daddy outside of work. You're stressed the fuck out. Your kid's sick. Da 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 da. Like, a break from this major part would help. It would help ease whatever's going on, so you real shit back in, refocus. You might be able to take time to knock this out, and make the load lighter, and make that pressure on your shoulders lighter. You know what I'm saying? If you get mad at your partner for needing some sort of a break, and they're willing to communicate it to you, is as hard as that might be, knowing how your partner might respond, and you're still willing to communicate it, and you have a problem with that, there's something wrong with you, and that shit's probably not going to work anyway.
I agree with that.
Because nigga, if I'm stressed the fuck out in this situation, and I've identified where the hold on.
Means y'all breaking up.
No, but see, then stop calling it taking a break. Say we breaking up.
No, but that's what it is.
Hold on. Sometimes I said it's situational. I'm gonna let you finish, because I know
when you say take a break, that means we're taking a break from this relationship. We're not in a relationship anymore.
But see, here's the thing. It's,
I think we're focusing on the label part.
Yeah, like.
But when you say break, what are you breaking from? You're breaking from the label.
When we were talking about space,
I need some time to myself. It's different than saying we want to take a break. Taking a break has a negative connotation of you taking a break from the relationship. That's what it implies.
But
then people need to communicate exactly. But if we're talking about communication, people need to say exactly what the fuck it is.
Yeah, if they need some
stop beating around the bush. Like, hey, I got shit going on.
Still in a relationship.
The way that I feel about, yes. See, that when you said taking a break, that's where I'm like, people be back and forth and in and out. Like, hold on, I'm saying this is how this should be communicated. Yeah. You say what it is, identify the problem, identify where it's coming from, vocalize that, and at at that point, deal with it how you and your partner need to deal with the shit. But don't sit there and let the shit fester. Because if I don't take any time to myself, if I don't take any time to myself, this shit not gonna be good for either one of us. This shit's going to end at some point if neither one of us takes any time to fix whatever's going on when we know the shit's not right. We're not just about to fight through it and power through it. That's how motherfuckers end up arguing. You're not gonna cause me a headache. Yeah,
but we can't. But at the same time,
you're not gonna cause me a headache. You know what I'm saying? That's the if I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to get to in life, which women always say they want an ambitious man and all that other shit. They want a nigga that making six figures.
Close this out.
You know what I'm saying?
Got a little heavy mic drop.
So look,
you know what I'm saying? You got. I forgot what I said, but
we got 1 minute left, so we got to close it out. This is what I'm gonna say though. This episode, I really think the main topic is about healing. Yeah. It's about healing and being honest with thyself. You know what I'm saying? They said thyself in the Bible. You feel me? Church. Anyways,
and respecting the people that, not just in romantic relationships, respecting the people that you're dealing with enough to communicate what you're feeling and how to better the situation.
Going back to knowing yourself, you know yourself so well, you know yourself, you begin to know your relationships around you for what they are, you begin to be able to be decisive, you be able to know what's for you, what's not for you, how you affect others, how you affect yourself. So I feel like that definitely the healing topic is pivotal within the community.
Ladies, don't cheat on your nigga as no test. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna go well.
That goes for men as well. Anybody with that mindset, not just women.
They might send you to the upper room with Jesus.
You said you wanna meet him. I'm gonna give you the whole of water.
Oh my God.
And dry you. I'm playing.